million followers on Clubhouse and fell into Web3 and NFTs, and now I'm an advisor and content creator in this space. And yes, Devon, Timbaland. Now, Entertainment Weekly said that just about every current pop trend can be traced to him. It's a pretty big honor. I just dare you to try to name the people he's worked with in the hits, right? Timbaland, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Snoop, Madonna, Rihanna, Coldplay, One Republic, Drake, and on and on and on. He's written hundreds of hits that we know and love. He even has a master class in music production, and he's an avid bodybuilder. So one thing you might not know is that being named Timothy Mosley earlier in his career, he went by DJ Tim or DJ Timmy Tim, but then he's actually named after the Timberland boots. I sometimes think when there's a coincidence like that, it can't be, but he's actually named after those boots. I also read that Pharrell is your cousin, but quickly debunked, guys, even though it's on 30 sources on the internet, Pharrell is not his cousin, apparently. But what we also read is that he, throughout his career in this life, is at the forefront of everything. So, huge round of applause for Timberland. Okay, Timberland. I saw you at a panel at Miami Pool House, Soho House, a couple of months ago. And that moderator did an epic job of playing hits and having you kind of talk through how you thought about that idea, how it came up. And one thing that was really salient about that is your brain thinks in music, your brain thinks in beats. That's how you organically live. Talk to me about how that journey played out. Like when you were a kid, did you know you wanted to do music? Were you living and breathing that? And how has that brought you to this world today?
I think when I was a kid, I knew I would be into music. I didn't know what type or what form of music I would be, whether I'd be a DJ or a radio host or producer, which I am today. But I just know I love music, and I just followed it where it took me. You know, it took me to creating music. So now I'm here as a producer.
Zayd, what did you want to be when you were a kid?
Everything. I didn't think I had when I was a kid, I wanted to be a Power Ranger. It was silly. But, you know, to be honest with you, my first everything, I wanted to be a rapper, musician. My dad told me, no, I had to go to school. And, you know, I shouldn't be listening to that music and all that stuff. So, naturally, I went the opposite direction and found this guy and learned some cool stuff.
So, since you always knew, you think in beats, you think in music, you wanted to be in music, you have been a pioneer of how we produce music, especially with sampling. Now, one of the biggest things about NFTs is digital creator ownership, right? Authenticating digital assets and proving ownership. So, there's obviously a need as creatives to have control over that. But also the technology for smart contracts and thinking about royalties, I mean, it's huge. Because, I mean, with the price of ETH today, what is it, $1,800? If you sold 4 NFTs to mega fans for 0.1 Ethereum, you would make more than 1 million streams on Spotify. So the industry's broken. There's a need for creators to own their IP, and then also with how you pioneered sampling, the ability to use technology to give credit and shout out the people that we build with and on top of. Talk to me about how you think about this technology changes your work and in the entire industry.
The technology for me, it allows you to be as free as you can be. You know, you can create your own, it kind of teaches you how to start a business in a digital way. You know what I'm saying? I know we have Amazon Prime, but this now it allows you to be your own Amazon Prime, to set your way of how you want to see your career going. And I think that's important. I think nobody should be governed on how their work is done. I think you should govern your work, let the fans be interactive with you and let them talk to you. Don't talk to the middleman, talk directly to the fans. You know, I think that's very important. That's why I love this space, because it allows you to create in that way. It's still growing, it's still piecing together, but I think it's going to be the new wave for the future. I feel like there's going to be opportunity opportunities for artists who maybe don't think they're good enough. It's going to kill a lot of anxiety for a lot of creators. I think a lot of creators are going to find a way to create and be successful in their own right in their own world. That's the beauty about the space.
On the back of that, I would say that, you know, we run this live show and we met creators from all over the world. And the number one thing that we saw is that we saw an audience of people that were looking to take their passion and turn it into a livelihood in some way, form, or fashion. And Web3, blockchain, NFTs allow you to do that without a middleman, just like Tim was saying. And, you know, a lot of these people would ask Tim, you know, what do I do? How can I monetize? How can I get my music out there? And, you know, the honest truth is that answer is changing. And, you know, the hope is in this space, you know, there's a statistic that 90% of the value that artists generate doesn't actually go to the artist, it never makes it to them. They normally receive about 10% of all the money that they ever generate. And the hope is that there are new ways with less middlemen that allow people to reclaim some of their actual value, their natural creator-given value.
You know, Timbaland, you just mentioned this new technology and a new business model taking anxiety off of creators. I think a lot of people who are new to this space get really confused, right? When, mood, WAGMI, all this stuff that they don't understand in wildly fluctuating markets. Do you remember the moment each of you first heard about Web3 and NFTs? And like, what was the moment that clicked and said, wow, I don't need to be scared of it. This is actually a huge possibility for me. How do we help those people get rid of that anxiety?
I mean, you can't really, you gotta just be open. You can't really help people. You have to just be open and just understand that the world is changing every day. You know, as we go into the future, you want to be a part of the future. You want to forget that once was, you know, what once was is not today. And you have to be willing to evolve to the next level. And learning something new, that's why we live. We live to learn new things. And I feel like when it comes to Web3, I want to know, what is it? What about it? Why is everybody so intrigued? So for me, I love to evolve. I love to go to the next thing, to the new thing, because eventually it's going to pop, just like the .com bubble. People were saying that wasn't going to do nothing. Oh, that's not going to be it, but you can't do nothing without .com now. So it's good to be upon the new. Don't be afraid of it, even though, you know, you're going to have bumps and hurdles. That's everything in life. And once you know everything in life is a trial, you arrive at the storm. But I know it's the wave, and it's going to be the biggest wave going.
No, I love that analogy when you were saying people didn't think .com was a thing. Because when people have trouble wrapping their head around this, or worse yet, they're resistant. I said, remember when you said you wouldn't buy anything online? Well, if you took an Uber today, you not only bought that online, you got into a complete stranger's car. And that wasn't even that long ago, right?
And I think, you know, we're still there, right? A lot of Web3 talk, but, you know, I think it's calling for what does Web 2.5 look like? Are we all there actually yet? You know, are we early still? I think we are still early. And, you know, one thing that we'll see is how can we unify what's new? Is Web3 actually separate from the rest of it? Type of questions we have.
Well, I always say tech is the enabler. It's not the thing you sell. But we don't sell NFTs. When I ask, what's your favorite type of music? No one says MP3, right? It's rock or hip hop or jazz. So what I love about what you guys have done is built products and solutions and experiences that people want. You aren't selling a tech, you are selling culture. So talk about some of the work you guys have done together.
The whole thing started when the pandemic began. We started this live show out of Tim's music studio. Last year we had a viewer base of 5 million viewers. And what we really realized early is that people really like unique opportunities to engage with this guy. There's new technology out there that allows people to engage with somebody like a Timbaland directly from their pocket, directly from a game controller, directly from your screen. And the whole thing is just creating new ways for people to engage. We created an app where people could just send Timbaland his music. There's a box of beats, and it was just an accessory to how people can get in touch with this guy and how they can share their talent, be spotlighted, and how they can interface with Timbaland in a new way. And so the amazing thing about all the new developments in tech and with blockchain and game engines and so on is that there's a limited potential for how Timbaland shows up tomorrow. And so that's really the driving force, is just finding unique ways. Every day we're in the studio and Timbaland is thinking of new ways to connect with you guys, thinking of new ways to to spotlight you on whatever platform you're already on today. And the idea is that tomorrow that connection will have a lot less middlemen and a lot less gatekeepers.
What's been your favorite part of working on this?
I don't know if I have a favorite part. I just like making it come to life. You know, I think with all the technologies out there, I just need the right structure around to get it done. So my thing is, what's my favorite? I don't say my favorite. I think I love what's available to me to create my favorite thing that I like. So I'm just loving all the building that we can do it in-house with great-minded people, great people who think just alike, that understand coding, and just learning this new way to talk to what society is about to become. You know, the new language is going to be code. Oh, do you do this? Do you code? Do you do? You know, we're going to hear a lot more language of gas fees, mint, all these new language that relates to money and a business. You know, so I'm just enjoying learning the process as it comes.
That's a good point, because before e-commerce, we never thought about shipping and handling fees. We drove to the store and bought something, and now it's standard. And then we've even gone further and hidden them and said it's just now baked into the price of the product and the service. You know, it's just free shipping. So I think someday we'll move away from wallets and gas, but for now, the early adopters, we have to embrace them.
Yeah, you know, it's a new language, you know, and especially with the world way it's going on today, we're going to really probably see a big crypto surge because the dollar's going somewhere else. So it's a new day and time.
Well, we always say bear markets are for builders, and the fact that we're all here is a testament to that.
Right.
Now, I have a slightly tougher question about this industry, because so many brands and celebrities have come in, slapped their name or their logo on something and tried to sell it. You guys are building a business with multiple parts, long runway. But what do you think is the role or responsibility of people who have fans and platforms and audiences and community on how to steward the use of this? Because there's so many rugs and scams. Some of them might be intentional, but some of them are just unintentional. People don't know what they're doing. It's an 18-year-old kid who starts his own business, and all of a sudden he mints and gets $3 million, and he has no idea how to run it. So sometimes it's intentional, a lot of times it's unintentional, but what can we do as people who have platforms and influence to try to steward this into a better place?
I just think it's still brand new. People still figuring it out. So I don't think people that are scamming know it's a scam. You know, I think it's so, you know, stuff is too good to be true. It's all these rules that come up to make you think it's a scam. And you really think about it, you be like, well, how is it? How does that make this, you know? And I think the regulations make a lot of things difficult. And you know, when people don't understand something, they bash it. So I think we just gotta set the trend, be diligent on what we're doing, and figure out what is a scam and what is not. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of things we might proclaim that way, but I don't think they're jumping too far out the boat. You know, but hey, it's a new space. Nobody really has a blueprint on what to do, how to do it. I think you learn from mistakes, hurdles in the road, and you correct them, and just try to make a perfect guideline and pass it on to the next, to the next, and next thing you know, we have this community of guidance and we know how to do it now.
Yeah, so it's interesting because sometimes we're really quick, especially in a down market, to condemn scammers and rugs. But I love your flip side, which is let's have some grace. We're all trying to figure it out. We're trying to do our best. The technology fails on us half the time because we're building the plane as we're flying it. So have a little grace for ourselves and each other as we're figuring this out, right?
And I think on the backside of that too is, I think it's going to require a lot more transparency, a lot more communication between project founders and their communities, and just removing that fun, right? The fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and calling it out. It's like the most pressure I've seen is like this guy. You guys knew Timbaland before Web3, before NFT, and I think it's more so unimaginable to think that people with a name can have a place to hide, right? It's like the expectation is off, and so it's like we know this guy never had the ability to be. He came into this doxed, right? He was doxed before it began. And I think we need to stand on that. There's an empty podium there that requires transparency and just honesty. If you build from your heart, I think people will see that and they will meet you there.
Yeah, that's a great point because so much of Web3 culture is anonymous and it's fun and we represent our PFPs, but you were doxxed from day one. I was doxxed from day one. I'm on 2 public company boards, but I can't even take a risk because I'll lose those board seats. And I think it's really nice to have that credibility because it does mean a heavier weight sometimes on our shoulders, but it does mean when we put our weight behind something, it's real.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, one last question. I looked back and I was researching your career and it's hit after hit, years after years of amazing work. We might have a future Timbaland in the audience, right? But the thing about Web3 is that it's young, it's hungry, and it's impatient. When noon, I want to win tomorrow. What advice do you have to give for all these builders and thinkers about the journey to success and what that can look like?
The journey is what you make it. The thing about Web3, you can determine what your success level is. You can take it to where you want to go. It's up to you. And that's the beauty about it. You're not competing with nobody. It's just yourself. And it's your business. It works for you. People are like, what are you doing? Oh man, I'm in the Web3 space. I'm on. And then now it's trickling over to the Web2 space. But you don't have to be visible or feel like I have to prove something, because the only thing you have to prove is to the people that are loving what you do, that you're talking to. That's it. And that's your success.
That's beautiful advice. Have a little grace for ourselves and each other. And Web3 is what you want to make of it. Stop looking around and comparing to others and just do you. Guys, huge hand. Huge round of applause.